Hello, I'm Logan Purley and welcome to Rogerstv special presentation on Portage Atlantic. Located near Sussex, New Brunswick, this residential rehabilitation treatment center and its dedicated staff members face the tough job of helping youth with addiction. In this program, we'll learn how the staff works together to help youth on their journey to recovery through a variety of programs and services. First, let's meet some of the youth and hear their stories of how addiction has impacted their lives and their families.
So can everyone just come around here once we get a life jacket?
My journey took me to Portage Atlantic. I was using heavily, like from a young age. Like I was drinking and then like at a really young age, and it was just a lot of self-sabotage. I wasn't going to school, I wasn't, being productive. It was really just a messy scene and it was just unmanageable. I think everybody was like just enabling me at the end of it and just wasn't sure what to do about it.
My name is Jamie Gallant. I'm 20 years old. I'm from Moncton, New Brunswick, and my substance use started when I was about 9 years old with smoking marijuana. Well, my journey took me to Portage Atlantic by, I did a lot of bad stuff in my addiction, and I lost my girlfriend of 5 years to drug addiction, and decided one day that I'd call, and I was kind of like living by myself. I was homeless at the time, and I decided to call in, and I called my ex at the time to let her know that I called Portage and that I wanted to get my help, and she actually picked me up and drove me for my tour, and yeah, and then I ended up taking the bus here February 15th, and yeah, it'd probably be the best decision that I've ever made.
My drug of choice was cocaine. I started that around 14, 15 years old. I'm not really sure what made me do those choices. Just a lot of family problems, a lot of constant arguing between my mom and dad. Even myself, just having self-esteem issues made me want to not better myself in a way. I had a lot of troubles accepting my illness, which was diabetes. And that really took a toll on my life. Around 10 years old, I got diagnosed, and between all those years, I was having a lot of troubles maintaining my health, which gave me less hope and courage in myself. And I think that really made me develop that addiction and hard drugs, even soft ones.
Woo! God, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change.
My journey took me to Portage Atlantic because before being here, I was at the detox in Moncton, and the social worker there recommended Portage to me, and that it would be a great program for me to attend because it was my second time in detox.
Portage Atlantic is a place of opportunity, a place of possibility and potential, and it allows for the safe and secure growth and development of Atlantic Canada's youth.
One, two, three, sobriety!
The therapeutic community is the model that Portage Atlantic is based on. It is a long-standing model of recovery. It is based on a positive peer culture. That being said, the peer group encourage, coach, mentor their fellow residents. They hold each other accountable, they support, they lend a helping hand, they practice all kinds of skills that they learn while they're in the therapeutic community. Portage Atlantic is located here on the beautiful Cassidy Lake. It is a rural environment, and it is intentionally situated in a rural environment to allow for youth to separate from their negative peers, their negative lifestyles, their negative everyday routines in their home environments. We offer a serene, peaceful, active-filled opportunity here on the Cassidy Lake.
I've been in Portage for 6 months. Substance abuse cost me a ridiculous amount of trauma between me and my mom. You know, it was watching her daughter deteriorate, basically. Like, it's so much distress, so much disconnection. Like, I was a really cruel person when I was coming down off of drugs.
Well, it was difficult for my dad because I was never home. He didn't know where I was all the time and stuff.
Michael, shoot it!
I burned a lot of relationships with my brother. I was, before I moved in with him, I was living with my mother, and we used to fight all the time. Because of that, we kind of parted ways. We used to fight a lot. She ended up kicking me out of her house. I actually just started talking to her probably 2 or 3 months ago. Last month I spoke to her for my birthday. My girlfriend, she lost a lot of trust, and I had to build up the relationship again. It's a lot of work that you have to do to rebuild those relationships. I stole from my brother, and I lost a lot of trust with him as well. He's starting to come back around though. I'm starting to build better relationships, and I mean, drug addiction kind of steals all the positive things of your life, and since I came to Portage, it's been a lot. It's been getting better.
My substance use really damaged, took advantage of myself and my family a lot. They lost a lot of courage and trust, and they could see the potential in me, but I couldn't see it in myself. I started just being really rude to them, just wouldn't really be as nice as I was when I was a kid.
We're going around that yellow buoy. You know, addiction sucks. Addiction's terrible. It tears families apart, it tears people apart, and maybe it's what happened to them before the addiction that's already killing them, and then they come here and they're just given, you know what I mean, they're talking to other people who've been through the same thing. They're talking to counselors who have been through abuse and jumped into that old dirty world of addiction, and are here to tell them there is a way out of it, there is hope, you know, and you know, you're not alone.
You know how we met yesterday, and I had explained there's all those issues under your drug use. For me, it's so personal. I see the damage that drugs does and alcohol to the young people I work with, and it's personal. It's a very terrible thing that's going on with the youth today. So my motivation is just to try to resolve the issue with drugs with the youth that comes in, and alcohol.
Addiction, you know, there's something that says that addiction, you know, it's for parents that are divorced and single parents, and most of the youth are in poverty, but this is so wrong. I think that addiction is everywhere. Now with social media, it really went up, and so of course the resident will be capable to relate with each other about the lifestyle that they had before coming into treatment. Some of them, you know, dealt with physical, sexual abuse, and we'll have an opportunity here at Portage for the first time for a lot of them to open up and talk, because this is where we offer. A lot of the time, you know, they would keep things inside, being scared of being rejected or laughed at or not being understood. Here we're going to open the door, and we're going to accept the way they are, and we're going to work with them.
We return to Rogerstv special presentation on Portage Atlantic. In this part of the program, we'll meet more of the staff members and learn how they work together as a team as the youth enter rehabilitation. We'll learn of the damaging impacts addiction has on the youth's education.
All right, guys, that was a good little outing for us in the canoes. Everyone enjoyed it?
Yeah. The program here at Portage Atlantic is constantly evolving. It is informed by the better practices and the best practices that are coming from the addiction field. The staff at Cassidy Lake is a unique feature also. It is composed of folks who have gone and gotten their formal education and come and want to be part of this program. It encompasses folks who have had their struggles themselves.
Pretty much I see a little bit of myself in every one of these kids. Like I said, I had a very long addiction and a lot of bad things happened in that amount of time. And every day that I come in here, it's you know, you're helping someone, and it's a long, hard battle, because I know that myself.
Every person, from the maintenance man to the cook to the administration and the clinical staff, nurse, are all part of the therapeutic community.
Usually I meet the youth within about 20 minutes of their arrival at Portage. They go through an initial procedure with the admissions officer here, and then they're brought to my office. At that time, I go through their medications and confirm allergies and different things like that. I do just a quick, ask them if they have any physical or other health needs that I would have to be aware of in the next couple days, because the next time I meet them might be a day or 3 down the road. But at the end of the week, I meet all the new kids. A lot of the kids here have mental health issues. It's quite common. They self-medicate for depression, even emerging schizophrenia at this age. You see some things that are either pre-existing conditions or could have been a result partially of their drug use.
We all intervene with the residents. We have engagements with the residents. We hold them accountable. We offer them support.
As far as what a youth is using, I mean, it could be marijuana, it could be speed, it could be coke, it could be opiates. The treatment here is not really any different. I mean, what's happening is the drugs that they're using has essentially become a coping skill for them. They don't have any healthy coping mechanisms, so they use drugs to cope. So it really doesn't matter what they're using. We can teach them the coping skills that they need to be effective, productive adults.
6, good form. 7. When they first come in here, a lot of the time they'll either be sickly, unwell, they have difficulties managing themselves, so they'll become very emotional. By the time they go through the entire program, at the end, they're capable of managing themselves in a proper manner, i.e. to say that when somebody makes them upset or angry, they can deal with those emotions without lashing out at anybody. And physically, they just are healthy by the time they leave. So they're no longer underweight, they're no longer suffering from any problems with their teeth or any other issues that they might have.
And then as they start to build trust, it's getting to know what some of their issues are, because at Portage we really try to find the issues underlying the addiction, and so you work with each person individually, and then as you get to know them, then you start to work more within the group dynamic.
And let's just have a bit more meeting.
Thanks, Danica.
My substance abuse probably caused me, like, the area of school and stuff, it was more that I wasn't attending. I was never there, so my notes and stuff were going down a lot.
My substance abuse cost me about 5 years of schooling. I failed almost every year.
I was losing a lot of friends because of the drugs. I was losing trust in my teachers, and even though they did see a lot of hope and potential in me.
Push yourself a little harder with when it comes to doing the work. But,
most of these kids, when they come here, have
nobody cares.
Been out of school because of their lifestyle. They have, jig school, cuffed, whatever you want to call it, because they're attending classes high. They haven't been able to focus on the material that they're being taught. So just trying to get them excited about school, get them excited about something in their future. When the young person comes in and starts school with me, of course, as I said before, we sit and talk, and then I will be in touch with their home school just to advise them that the young person is with us. While they're at Portage, our main goal is to try to get them through courses, try to get them into the next grade level if possible. But there are kids that come in that, school's just been a struggle for them. So we work on, within the last year, we've been able to do the GED testing on site here, which is very exciting.
I've never accomplished anything in school in so long. Like, it was such a good feeling. I worked my butt off, and it's one-on-one most of it. So all the schooling, like, it's brought in. and you work on it much quicker than you would, things are done so much quicker.
And I got my credit for French grade 11 and English grade 12.
Here in Portage in September, I'll be starting high school. I really look forward to it. I look forward to just starting a fresh new life, a fresh new start with my education.
Yeah, you can go wherever you want.
Also, in the last few years, we've also had a pre-trades orientation program running through the cooperation of post-secondary education, training and labor, and through the New Brunswick Community College. And that's a great program. It's only a short 7-week program, but it allows these kids to actually physically touch a hammer or work with electricity and plumbing and that sort of thing. So the goal is to excite them about some kind of direction in their life. At Portage, we've been very fortunate over the last several years when young people finish school that we've been able to assist them with bursaries to enter post-secondary education. And it doesn't need to be university or community college. It could be, you know, the beauty school or aesthetics or truck driving school, whatever the case may be.
We return to Rogerstv special presentation on Portage Atlantic. I'm Logan Purley. In this part of the program, we learn what lies ahead for the youth when they've completed their residential rehabilitation, which lasts 4 to 6 months. And we'll meet one of the many youth who has successfully completed the program.
1, 2, 3, sobriety!
We are a residential rehab for young people. So with a detox, there's detoxes within the province that that youth could possibly access if they need to be medically weaned off whatever drug that they might be using in order for them to be completely clean when they come into treatment here. So yeah, we're not a detox, we are a rehab.
Portage Atlantic is a place for hope for me, but I've never felt so at home anywheres.
I always encourage young people to come and have a tour of the facility, not just so they can see what it's like, but so that they can at least experience it in some sense. The tours are always given by young people that are in treatment.
This place really helped me with addiction, that I could maybe do the same thing.
From being here, I just want to be able to deal with my problems and stuff while being sober.
I have knowledge about addiction, so I can actually help kids or help people with addiction.
I really hope to learn a lot of issues that I have in myself, just things I can work on better when I go on the outside.
In the future, I probably see myself going to college again, and I want to take a course to help others.
Wicked job, you've already burned 13 calories.
Thanks, Ben.
I think the reason that our staff team does so well here at Portage is because we all take our own accountability and we live by the same principles that the kids do when they're doing the program.
Now, the mission of Portage is to be able to offer services to any clients. So a few years ago, we started to have referrals with clients that were transgender. Based on that, we decided to do some research and to be able to offer services because there's different needs.
I've seen in the last 21 years that it's been open that our success rates have been in the over 70% area, and we've had over 2,000 children go through the program.
Portage has an international reach. We have an executive director who's been the chairman of an international organization on the special teaching that we have here. We've been involved in many countries such as Hungary, Chile, China, the United States, and of course Canada.
It's kind of a good way to transition back into the community. There's a huge transformation from the youth when they start the program and when they leave to go into aftercare. I mean, as a social worker, I start seeing them when they first start in the program. So I see them at their worst and I see them at their best. So when they leave to go to aftercare, it's huge. It's the difference. They take accountability, they have better relationships with their family, they're better members of the group, better members of the community. It's a huge transformation. The aftercare program is for youth who transition from the program. So they've gotten their phase 5, they're reintegrated back into the community, and they start going to aftercare, which happens every week.
They are changed people. They have gone on in many cases to be very successful in life. They've reestablished their ability to be employed.
We have olive oil and balsamic vinegar from New Brunswick. On my first day at Portage, I felt there was such a big difference when it came to structure, because I felt like I came from a place without any structure to a place where it was all about structure. So that was one of the big things I remember, and also feeling like I was not the only one trying to fight my addiction. Everybody's on the fence at the beginning because it's nobody's really used to come in an environment like that, and but as you spend your first week or so, it grows on you, and it grows on you pretty quick because you get to learn that people care.
The Lions clubs, Lions International, they have raised over $500,000 just towards this project here at Cassidy Lake, so they have been just tremendous.
Portage is accredited by Accreditation Canada and has been accredited since 2008. It is the same organization that accredits hospitals.
Is that a steep hill?
Yeah.
There's a lot of steep hills in life. My message for peers that are still suffering from addiction is, like, I thought the same way, you know what I mean? Like, I thought the same exact way, that you're always going to be that person that is all that you have. You know what I mean? What am I going to be without, you know, living miserably in that addiction? But it's not, you know what I mean? You can use that drainage from the drugs as wisdom.
It would probably be that they need to get their help before it's too late.
There's a lot of things you can say about it, but I mean the prayer of serenity is the best thing, is accept the things you cannot change and change the things you can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And I always repeat that in my mind whenever I think about life events and stuff that happens. It's life. Life is beautiful.
If you feel not good about yourself and that's why you use drugs, maybe coming to a rehab facility would increase your self-esteem and increase the way you feel about yourself, and it could help you by realizing that you do actually want your help. And you know, this Portage and other rehab facilities would really helps you a lot.
After leaving Portage, I really hope that they can find that courage and trust that I had before I turned teenager. And I really hope that I can be perceived as a nice person as well.
The hope is that they can gain something, they can get in control of their life, they can get their life back, because they certainly don't have it right now.
The contrast between the youth when they first come in and then when we see them leave, it's amazing. It just, the transformation that I see, there's times where I have to sort of look twice because the difference is incredible. When they come in at first, you see the sickness. Sometimes you'll see the eyes. There's not much behind the eyes. And then after a while, we just see they put on some weight, get their health back, and yeah, they just start to look so much better.